and I kind of specified it here too, the darts are gonna be made with like slash and spread, pivot, and then you have your last one, which is a French dart. It's gonna be the pivot method. So let me show you guys how to do the pivot. It'll be the same process of tracing your piece, but for this one, it's much simpler. You don't have to cut a working pattern. It's all just gonna be done right here. So pivot, we're gonna close up the shoulder dart and we're gonna add a side seam dart. For the side seam dart, you can place it anywhere you want. It does not have to be at this indicated notch here. Just know that wherever you have your other notch for your dart, you still need to do your bust line notch. So after you do all of your manipulation and you go to transfer your notches, you will still need to have your bust line notch here. So I'm gonna make my dart a little bit lower right here. And I'm just gonna make a point on my block here so that I know this is where I'm going towards. And what I'm gonna do is trace everything that is gonna stay in place. So for me, that's the first part of the dart here, the notch. Anything that's in the center front is gonna stay the same. So I'll trace out as is. The bottom waist dart is gonna stay the same as well. So I'm just gonna trace it out as is. Trace all the way up until I get to that point that I just made. This is my new notch, my new dart point. Hold it in place. Place my pencil in the apex hole. This is my anchor point. And I'm gonna pivot until I close up my dart here at the shoulder because I'm getting rid of this dart. So I wanna close it up, line it up with the notch that I already previously drew. Finish tracing the rest until I get to my dart location, my new dart location. I'm gonna make a point here. And that opens up my new dart here, and it closes up this dart here. Pretty straightforward. This is probably the easiest way to do your dart manipulation, but you can't use this method if you want to increase or decrease measurements. This is more useful just for darts. So now I'm gonna finish drawing out the rest. Draw all of my lines. Again, because I did not use this point as my dart, I'm gonna still draw out the line.
And this is due on Wednesday?
This is Wednesday.
This is Monday here, but there's a holiday on Wednesday.
Oh.
Well, the 21st is a Wednesday.
Oh, so it's not Monday, it should be Wednesday. But the 21st is the date that it's due. So just cross it off and just put Wednesday. Oops, that was my fault. And then from here, you'll just do the same markings as you did for the pivot. Do your dart end point, do your seam allowance, do your labeling, make sure you have all of your notches transferred. I'm not gonna do that again here, but this is the pivot method.
So are we using the pivot method in the homework? Or just the slash and spread? Okay.
It's labeled up here at the top, very tiny. It says darts made using pivot method, and then the French dart will also be done using the pivot method. Yeah. So for the French seam, it'll be very similar. How you traced it and you closed one dart, you're gonna do the same for the top and the bottom. Let me show you guys really quickly. So we're essentially closing up both of these and we're gonna open it up somewhere on the side seam. You can pick anywhere here that you wanna do your new dart. I'm gonna pick a new location. This is gonna be my new location for my dart. So what I'm gonna do is trace everything that's gonna stay the same, and for me that's the center front and the neckline. Trace all of that out.
So for this method, we're just turning in the updated patterns and not like actual made garments with them as and everything.
We are gonna sew it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is also what's due on next Wednesday.
Yes, but it's small scale and we're only gonna sew the darts. I just want you guys to practice sewing the darts. So that's gonna also be due. This is one of the assignments that I did tweak, and if it feels like it's too much, then I am willing to, just for this assignment, I'm willing to be flexible with the sewing part. Like maybe we don't do the entire bodice, we just do half of a bodice. But I do want you guys to learn how to sew the dart, and I will show you guys how to sew the dart. Okay, so where was I at? So I traced the center front, marked my apex here, all the way until my dart leg here. I'm gonna close up shoulder dart first, close it up, trace all the way until I get to my new location here, and then I'll do a marking. Put my pencil back in the hole, the apex punch hole. And then I'm gonna close up my bottom dart. So I'm gonna go all the way until I close up the other notch to the first notch that I drew out. And then I'll just trace out the rest. Up until, up until my location that I marked. So when I remove that, I have a new dart here, and I've successfully closed up both of these. So let me draw out all of my markings. Bust line. And my new dart leg will always point towards the apex. And this is one nice big dart. So this is the dart that I would do a cutaway dart. Instead of dealing with all of the excess underneath, I would just create a seam. And the seam would just be our standard 1/2 inch. Oops, rewind. I need to move my dart leg because we don't want it going straight to the apex. We want to move it down. So I'm going to move it down at 1 inch. If it was full scale, 1/2 inch. This first dart is my actual dart leg. And then this marking is my punch hole. And then from the new dart leg that I just drew, I will add seam allowance. And it's gonna be our standard 1/2 inch seam allowance. Does that make sense? And then I'll do the seam allowance for the rest. So by doing a cutaway dart, again, I don't have to deal with it being either, all the material either being going up or down. But with this one, you would have to treat the corner of it by clipping when you're actually sewing it, clipping it up until the point so that you can press the seam allowance open. That's the French dart. This is the side seam dart using the pivot method. You only need to do one back bodice, and that's going to be tracing it out as it is, doing all of your marking as it is. You don't have to do any manipulation on that, and you only need one piece of it. You will have one piece for the armhole dart, one pattern piece for the side seam dart, one pattern piece for the French dart. When you're labeling them, I would just label, I would just go in order. So this will be 1, 2, 3. Your back piece then will be number 4.
What would you like us to sew? Like, are we sewing full bodices or just the front pieces?
Let's take a break. We'll come back in 10 minutes and I will give the answer. And then from there, I will also show you how to cut your fabric pieces and how to sew them.